Hello there everyone. Today I want to show you how to make this really quick and easy beaded macrame bracelet, and this is what it looks like. So you get this really nice effect, but it's a really simple technique and it builds up really quickly as well. So these are just the materials that I've used. So these nice darker beads with a contrast cord there, white cord. But really I think this technique could work well for both male and female. I think depending on the materials that you use, it can make it quite masculine, or obviously it will work for females as well. So this is what it looks like. So if you want to learn how to make this bracelet, then keep watching. So then the materials that we're going to need is just some cord and some beads here. Now the cord that I'm using is a 1mm satin cord, and this is just a white colour. I thought there'd be a nice contrast to the beads that I'm using. These are some 4mm rounds, and it's just hematite gemstones here. So you can really use whatever you want to. The only thing you have to make sure of is that the cord that you're using will go through the holes in the beads that you're using. So as long as that fits, you can really use whatever. You can also use different thicknesses of cord, types of cord, and also beads here. So play around with the sizes of things and the materials that you're using. So use some larger ones if you want to, and it'll give you a different look. So let's get it all together and let's get started. So then the cords that we need to use is 2 lengths here of whatever cord that you're using, of about 80 centimeters each. And then we're going to use this to basically make the whole bracelet. Now you can finish off the bracelet in different ways. If you want to make a sliding clasp with macrame, what you have to just bear in mind is you need to leave a bit of a tail on one end here before you start making the macrame. If you want to use cord ends or something like that, you can work all the way towards the end, but that's completely up to you. So we just need these 2 lengths to make this technique. I've then taken my 2 lengths of cord here and just put them through one of the slots on my macrame board. So I'm just working on this board. It makes it much easier and quicker to work with. So I'll just put towards the ends of my cord here. So I've got my 2 working lengths coming down. It's going to be easier and nice to work with. So then what I just want to do before I start adding in any beads as well, I just want to do a little section of just knots here before we start adding the beads, because that's going to be the back of the bracelet and a little bit more comfortable. So all we're going to do here is the alternating half hitch. So you can start with whatever side you want to. I'm just going to take my left one first. Doesn't matter because we're going to keep swapping hands as well. The left one goes over the right one, like that. So pull it all the way over, and then back underneath the right one there, and up through the loop of itself. So just like this. So you kind of get this 6 looping around the other cord. I'm going to tighten that all the way up, and that's basically one. That's a half hitch. Now what we need to do is swap hands, so do the exact same thing but with the other cord. So that means the one on the right side, because I just used the left one, I need to take the right one, bring it over the left one, back around underneath and up through the loop. And in this case, hold the holding cord top, and then here you get a reverse 6, like that, and then tighten that up while you're holding the holding cord, in this case top, and then that knot goes right below the previous one. And then I basically want to continue doing this, so keep swapping from side to side. I just did the right one, now I want to do the left one. Bring it over the right, back around and through to get the normal 6. Remember to always loop through itself there, that's what creates the knot. Tighten it all the way up, and then the right one goes over the left one, back around and through, and then hold the holding cord taut as you tighten it. And there we go, there's another one. So basically we're kind of creating this little chain of knots, and it becomes a really nice look to it there just by itself. But then you want to do this maybe a couple of centimeters or so, and then once you have enough length of that, we're going to start adding in the beads on it as well. So now that I got to the point here where I want to add in the beads as well, then what we're going to do is remember which one you did last. So I did my right one last, which means I'm going to do the left one next. But before I actually do the knot, I want to add in my bead. So that means the one that's going to be the holding cord for this one is the one we need to add the bead onto. So that means my right one here. So take your bead, put it onto your right cord in this case, just the one that's going to be the holding cord. Push it all the way up until it won't go any further, because that's where the knot then is going to stop it there, the last one you made. And then to cage that bead in and start adding in more knots, we take the left one and just do exactly what we're doing up here. So bring it across the right one, back around underneath and through itself. So we get that 6, remembering to come through the loop, and then tighten it all the way up. And that's not going to get stopped by the bead basically, so the knot is going to end up sitting right below the bead there. So that's the one side. Now we want to go to the other side, so switch hands again. So that means now the left one is going to be the holding card, which means we need to put a bead onto that. So I'm basically adding a bead every time I'm making a knot, and you want to add the bead before you make the knot there as well. And it's always onto the holding cord. There we go. Push it all the way up again till it won't go any further, so it sits right below the previous knot. Remembering the one we added the bead is the holding cord, so that means I need to take my right one, bring it over the left, back around, underneath and through. So on this side you get the reverse 6. Remember to come through the loop, and then just tighten it up all the way. So again, that knot sits below the new bead that we added in. Swapping hands again. So I just used the right one for my working cord, so that means it's now the holding cord. That means I want to add my next bead onto that one because it's the holding cord within a knot there that we're basically doing. We're adding the bead onto. Like that, push it all the way up, and then, because that one is the holding cord that we just added the bead, I want to use the other one that doesn't have a bead to make the next knot. So back around and through, and tighten it all the way up below that previous knot. The next one, the one that was just a working cord, is now the holding cord. So that means we put the next bead onto that and push it all the way up. And because that's the holding cord, that means the other one that doesn't have a bead is the next working cord. Back around and through, hold the holding cord taut while we're tightening the knot, just like that. And that's basically all there is to it. You keep going like this, so you get this kind of nice little section of beads intertwined with the knots here, sectioned out by the knots. Keep doing this for however long you need your piece to be, whether it's a bracelet or what. And then at the end, I will just make a few more of those knots without any beads. Then once you reach your final length, you can then finish it off how you want to. So I then kept going here, adding in the beads until I reached a length that I feel is right. And then at the end, like I said, I just made an extra few knots just like the beginning. The exact same ones there, so just the hair pitches alternating from side to side. And what I've done as well, and I would recommend, is that you make the same amount of knots at this end, at the end here, that you did at the beginning. So you can count them if you want to. For instance, I ended up making 8 at the beginning, so I made 8 down here as well after the very last bead. So that's the length that we got now. This is the front as well. It looks like that, and then the back looks like this, so a little bit different looking because of how the knots are made around the beads. But I think it really gives a really nice look here. And then all you have to do now is finish off the ends, like I said, however you want to do that. If you want to make a sliding macrame knot with square knots, you can do that. Just make sure you got enough length of your tails on both ends here. So you want to make sure you leave them longer at the beginning as well than I've done. But what I'm going to do is use some ribbon ends to finish it off. That's why I just left a short tail. So finish off the bracelet. I've got a tutorial that shows a few ways you can do that. So I'm going to put a link to that in the description box below. You can go and have a look at that. And then otherwise, once you then finish it off, then your bracelet will be finished. So I now finished off the ends of my bracelet as well here with my cord ends and attached my clasp. And then extend the chain on the other end. And then it looks a little something like this. So it's a really quick and simple bracelet to make with macrame knots here. Some simple knots with some beads in. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thank you very much for watching. Hello there everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make this macrame bracelet. And it looks like this. So this is the effect that you get. I'm using some larger beads here running through the whole middle of the bracelet. And these are just some purple agate that I'm using. But then I have the smaller beads surrounding the larger ones in each section here. So this is just one example. Another one is this. And that's the one I'm going to be showing you in the video how to do.